Hi, welcome to You Should Know This. Today is May Day, and there's protests and economic boycotts going on all over America. And I normally don't agree with the communists, but I'm going to give them we should do this to the gas station, and we're going to drive down gas prices into the basement. I used to pay 75 cents a gallon for gas, and we can get there again. Yeah, 75 cents. This is, I synced it with my own eyes, and you can do this. Um, little bit of background. I had have a minor in economics. It's I took those classes for kicks, and I had to pick a minor, so I picked economics. About 10 years ago, I got laid off and rolled my 401k over into IRA and started investing in gas companies, extraction, transport, retail, things like that. The retail, I mean, like Exxon or Speedway or something, the convenience stores that you see on the corner. I know how they work. I'm going to give you a general overview of what's going on in Iran and with gas prices and things like that. So to get a better picture of what you see on the news, um, I can't give you a better picture of what you're being lied to with on TikTok and Instagram. Those nut job corporate whores are screwing with your brain, and if you're spending more than a few minutes a day on that, you're jacking up your own brain. This is your fault. And I'm going to tell you how you can do your part to get gas back down to 75 cents a gallon. Okay, it's at least and it feels cathartic when you do it yourself and just stick it to them. Okay, so yeah, we all recognize this gas pump. So this is from oilprice.com. You see my list there. You got red stuff and white numbers. You got WTI crude and Brent crude, bourbon crude, and natural gas. WTI and Brent crude are basically the same type of gas. It's called the light sweet crude. Okay, it is your starting point. So if I said we're going to make aluminum cans, we would mine the bauxite and we would refine the bauxite into raw aluminum, and then we could make cans with it. Right, the raw aluminum. Brent crude and WTI crude are the raw part. That's what everybody kind of starts with. Okay, that's the standard across the globe. Other people, Iranian oil, Venezuelan oil, whatever, it it has to be refined a little bit to get it to WTI crude and Brent crude. Okay, Brent crude is named after the Brent Formation in the North Sea off the coast of Ireland, and WTI crude is West Texas Intermediate. It's from West Texas. So when you see WTI 10, $12 cheaper than Brent, that means the Americans are trying to drive down your fuel cost. We're dumping gas into the system, trying to increase supply so it lowers the price. More supply makes a lower price. Okay? So that's what you look at when you see Brent crude and WTI crude. That's what those names mean. That's what those numbers mean. Okay? So we're at war with Iran now. Today's Friday, the 1st of May, and irreversible damage to oil fields. They keep extra capacity so they can, in case there's a blockade or whatever, if a ship wrecks in the Strait of Hormuz, they got to have capacity there. They're running out of capacity, and if they turn off the taps, the well could plug itself. That's basically the way to look at it. It's porous rock, and it's a low pressure system, and I don't want to get too deep into the weeds, but if the well plugs itself when they finally get it restarted, which could cost billions of dollars, the foreign one of the parliamentarians in Iran is screaming, "We need to in this blockade. We're about to plug our own oil wells." It could cost them billions of dollars to restart, and when they restart a well that's been capped for a few days, it might not come back, or it could come back at 50%. So the people of Iran know that it might be Wednesday of next week, something like that is the drop dead date. Um, So we got a week. We need to hold out for another week or so. That's what they're talking about deadlines and things like that in Iran. It could be bad. Okay. They're like, wait a minute. If Iran plugs itself, it ruins everything. No, it doesn't. We have the strikes have already destroyed Iran's military capabilities. They can't make any more rockets. They have been losing billions per day with this blockade. They can't buy any more rockets. If they cap their own wells, they can never buy more rockets or more equipment to build rockets. They are shut down, and Strait of Hormuz is completely open from now on. Yeah, they're a producer. They are. You see, they're number 7 there at 4 billion barrels a day. Million barrels. They're at 4, right? 4 per day. Now, Venezuela is currently at point 0.8. They should be up there at 3 between Kuwait and Brazil. That's working. It could be a year or two before we hit that. But recent news showed up. Number 8 there, United Arab Emirates. They want to pump 5 million barrels a day, but OPEC has kept them down. They have not been able to pump 5. They can't get up to just under Canada there. If the other, and see, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Kazakhstan, I believe. No, not Kazakhstan. But Iran, Saudi Arabia, and Iraq all pump through the Strait of Hormuz. But UAE straddles the Strait of Hormuz. They allow OPEC and Iran to close the Strait of Hormuz, but they just left OPEC so they can get all the oil they want across their land bridge. So that opens the taps significantly. So Venezuela can come online soon. Iran might get capped. It might not. They might finally overthrow that government. That's very difficult to do. It's 3 million people want to be free against 50,000 zealots, is what the number looks like right now. But is that culturally available? That's the tough part. It's we're looking at a big nightmare, thousands of years of culture here that they might not be able to rise up and overthrow those 50,000 and get sent to a third world hellhole permanently. If they kept their own wells, it might not come back online. But there's stuff we can do. See, you see the fainting goats? This is a live view of the guy setting the oil prices. That's the guy that does it. Oh no, a pickup backfired in West Texas. We're all gonna die. We have to bid up the oil prices to insane levels. That's the guy setting the oil prices for you. Okay? He panics at every fart in West Texas. Every time someone in an OPEC nation falls over and breaks his wrist, this guy faints and jacks up the oil prices. He thinks that it's panic at all times, right? So we got to get this guy to calm down. How do we get him to calm down? We can do this. Avoid this death trap. Yeah, you are being reamed when you see this. This is a scam that is ripping away your money. This has to do with oil prices. You can get them to lower oil prices if you avoid this place right here. That's part of it. That's all you got to do. Avoid spending too much money for your little side quest. I don't care if the clerk's hot and she's friendly with you. You don't need to go in here. You're sick of the oil. You're sick of the gas prices. Look here. A local gas station, typical gas station, there up in the red, up at the upper section there, makes 4.7 million in gas revenue. This is like nationwide. Don't yell at the clerk for this number. If you want to yell at the clerk for this number, you're an idiot. You need counseling and you need to get away from people. That clerk does not set this number. We're going after Exxon and Speedway and Marathon and all them. The clerk has nothing to do with that. You leave the clerk alone. Now, if you look at the second part, the lower part, $1.08 million yearly at that same gas station. That is our poison pill. That's how we stop them. If I told you that I'm cutting your pay from 25 to 20 bucks an hour, are you going to stop what I told you to stop? You're going to freak out if I cut your pay that much, right? You're going to come unglued if I cut your pay that much. Oh no, I need my morning coffee and breakfast sandwich. Oh, Luke, you gotta help me. How do I get a morning coffee and a breakfast sandwich? Okay, I checked it out. A pound of coffee grounds gets 64 tablespoons. Now, back when I was paying 75 cents a gallon for coffee, I was making coffee for truck drivers. I worked at a cheesy motel that catered to truck drivers, and those truck drivers loved my coffee, and they were getting about a tablespoon per cup of coffee. Okay, and this was when they first outlawed the meth at the gas station. Okay, they were really cracking down on truck drivers being on the road for 64 hours at a time. So these truck drivers, just learning to be sober, basically, loved my coffee at a tablespoon per cup. So you get 64 tablespoons in a pound of coffee, right? I'm gonna show you the math here in a minute. So Black Rifle coffee, these fancy coffees here. Oh, I gotta have my fancy coffee. 12 $12 for 12 ounces. That's about $1 an ounce. That makes it $16 a pound. Okay, 64 cups at $16 a pound. I'm going to show you the math here in a minute. Calm down. I'm going to get you some good coffee at a cheap price. Okay, this is breakfast sausage, about $3 a pound. A can of Grand's biscuits is about $3. You get 8 biscuits, right? $6 for 8 breakfast sandwiches. How much are you paying at the convenience store for coffee and a breakfast sandwich? Well, let's look at it. $3 for sausage, $3 for biscuits, $6 divided by 8 biscuits, that's 75 cents you're going to pay for if you make it at home. Oh, look, I need a convenience. No, you don't. It takes you about 10 minutes, 15 minutes to cook your sausage and biscuits one time on Sunday afternoon. You put them in a Ziploc bag, you take them out, you nuke them for 30 seconds, and you got your breakfast sandwich for 75 cents. You make your cup of coffee, yeah, 25 cents for a cup of coffee. That's it. 25 cents for a cup of coffee. You can do the math real quick. You can pause it real quick, do the math real quick. $16 a pound. You get 64 cups per pound. That is 25 cents per cup of coffee. If you're making this stuff at home, you're looking at $1 per day. How much are you paying at the convenience store? When you make your side trip to the convenience store to flirt with the clerk, and you spend 5 minutes in that convenience store, hopefully it's only 5 minutes. Hopefully they don't have a problem. You spend 5 minutes in that convenience store instead of spending 10 minutes at home cooking it on a Sunday afternoon. That gets you plenty of sausage biscuits to get you through the week. You're giving them $2 per day. How much is that a year? How much is, let me pull over and get my, let's see. So there's 52 weeks in a year. There's 260 working days in a year. Times $1, that's $260 you're giving them every year. But that's $260 they're depending on top of what they're making a huge profit off of you. You know they're getting that cheaper than $3 for the sausage. They're probably getting it for $1. You are getting ripped off inside that convenience store every single time you go in. Now, I know you want to get your cigarettes or whatever, your lottery tickets. You can get those at Walmart. You can get those at your local grocery store. They're probably cheaper at Walmart or your local. I'm not sponsored by Walmart. I don't have any current gas investments or oil investments. Or I don't think I have any store investments. I got Cracker Barrel. They don't sell gas though. They used to. But you're paying way too much money to a company that is ripping you off on gas. Now, this one takes some discipline. This is what a gas station looked like back in the 50s. They sold gas. They might sell oil, fan belts. They sold gas. That Coke machine out front, that red box out front, that's the Coke machine. It had like Coke and Dr. Pepper in it, and that was it. Because people weren't going to pay that much money for something they could buy at the grocery store for so much cheaper. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Somebody is lying to you, and I'm going to show you where they're lying to you. You ready for it? You ready for the truth? You don't have to fill your tank. I know that scares you. I know your little booty's sweating right now. You don't have to fill. Who lied to you and told you to fill your tank? Who was it? Tell me who it was lied to you, told you to fill your tank. Yeah, you don't have to fill your tank. Pull in, get $30. Do the math real quick. Whatever your math is, whatever your tank size is, you should know your tank size. And you do the math real quick according to that. And stop at $30. It's going to get you 3/4 of a tank and get you most of the way through the week. Go to a different gas station next time and stop at $30 and go to a different. You should know 5 gas stations. Oh, my car. I'm sorry. My 4-door pickup doesn't run as good on that gas station. I have to have this gas station. No, you're wrong. Go to a different gas station. Give them only $30. Stop that. The whole thing is to convince you have been lied to by a salesman. Listen, hear me again. You have been lied to by a salesman. You turn on the pump and you scroll on TikTok and you wait for the pump to shut off and you round it up. And then you stroll inside and get you 9 overpriced things that you don't need. And that's why they're able to charge $5 a gallon. That's it. That's all you got to do. You stop it short and quit giving them extra money. When I was paying 75 cents a gallon, we didn't have credit card readers at the pump. We had to go inside and say, give me $10 on pump 4. The credit card reader convinces you to buy more because it's not real money. We had real cash in our hand and we knew how much we could spend. And I put my last $10 in getting gas in my tank to get me through the week. We would stop it before filling up. Always. Because we knew how much cash we had in our hand. The credit card convinces you to fill your tank up. The gas pump automatically shutting off convinces you to fill your tank up. The bright, shiny store selling overpriced candy convinces you to fill your tank and give them extra money for destroying your pocketbook at the pump. You are giving them money to take your money. You're asking your abuser to abuse you harder. Make your own coffee. Make your own breakfast sandwich. Stop giving them money. That's it. Try it. Try it one time. It feels good not falling for their scam. That's it. Gas will go down to 50 cents a gallon if you just do that. Oh, it's so inconvenient. No, it isn't. Your full tank gets you what? How long does a full tank last? Go at 3/4 of a tank. It's the same time. It, you don't get half the mileage on 3/4 of a tank. If a full tank gets you through 10 days, 3/4 of a tank is going to get you through 7.5 days. It's not super inconvenient. You know what's super inconvenient? Paying them too much money for gas and then too much money for a 25-cent cup of coffee. Next, if you don't listen to me, I want you to think as you walk in that store, I should pay 25 cents for a cup of coffee. I want you to eat that every time you go in that gas station after giving them too much money. It's your fault for paying $4 for a cup of coffee. Yeah. How much do you pay for that cup of coffee? $3, $4. I need my cup of coffee. You get 5 other things when you go in there. You're giving them too much money. Oh, but I need my Monster. The vending machine at work charges you the same rate, basically the same price for that Monster, and that's a small local company. That's not a $1 billion conglomerate that is destroying your wallet at the gas pump. Quit giving them extra money to rip you off on the gas pump. Like, share, and subscribe, and you have a nice weekend.